Sharp 7 o'clock. Let us get started because in the next 60 minutes, we are going to learn quite a number of things about how to focus and concentrate for that ultimate success. So let us get started. But over the course of the next 60 minutes, I would love to get to know each and every one of you. So let me start from myself. I am from Hyderabad. Where are you from? If you can share in the chat where you are from, that would really help me connect with you. All right, from Telangana, Sridevi, Pune, Sahranpur, Kakinada, Vadodara, Mumbai. By the way, someone said that they cannot hear me. I hope you can hear me because everyone is typing the answers. So I am assuming great, wonderful. Wow. Jharkhand, so many places, so many people all over India, all the way from Meghalaya, from Jammu and Kashmir to all the way in the south. So great. Thank you. Thank you all so much for sharing where you are from. Okay, good. And I sincerely acknowledge each and every one of you for being here in this webinar. And I am guessing that for most of you, this is the first time that they have heard about Venkat. Venkat is my name, by the way. And I really acknowledge that you have chosen to spend your time for the next 60 minutes in this webinar. And I acknowledge each and every one of you because the very fact that you have chosen to invest your time here in this webinar tells me that you really are interested in learning some new skills in order to take the quality of your life to the next level. And from my side, I want to ensure that each minute that you spend in this webinar is going to be well worth your time. But you know what? I cannot do it alone. I need your cooperation as well. For you to walk away with something valuable, I need your commitment on 3 counts. The first is, since we are talking about focus and concentration on this webinar, I need your full focus and concentration for the duration of the webinar. And second, I want you to be engaged with me completely. By engaged, whenever I prompt you to write something in the chat or participate in a poll, or whenever I take you on an inner journey, I want you to be completely focused, and I want you to stay here until the end of the webinar. If you do these 3 things, you will really walk away with some valuable skills and knowledge. So why don't you and I make a deal? If you are agreeable for these 3 commitments, if you can make these 3 commitments for the duration of this webinar, type a D in the chat. D for deal. D for deal. Let me see how many of you want to make a deal with me. Oh, great. Wonderful. Wonderful, great. Everyone is making a deal with me, and in turn, I am making a deal with you that I will try my level best, whatever is in my capacity, to make sure that your time is well spent. So what I'm going to do now is turn off the chat. What it means is that you can still write to me, the host, but others cannot see you. So that way we will help each other to stay completely focused on this webinar. So what was the title of the webinar? The title of the webinar is How to Focus and Concentrate for Ultimate Success. So we need to parse each and every part of this to see what it means. What does it mean, ultimate success? Really, because every person's definition of success is so different. And success in what? There are so many aspects of our life, isn't it? There is a personal life, there is a professional life, there is a financial life, a family life, a social life. So many aspects to our life. So we need to really figure out, okay, let us actually narrow down to 4 areas of our life, and let us go one level at a time so that we understand how we can gain success in all of the areas, and what is the underlying mechanism? So let us take four areas of your life: professional life, financial life, personal life, and family life. And because each area of our life is so interdependent upon each other. So let us start with our professional life. Tell me, I am guessing that all of us, or many of us in this webinar, are professionals, and we are we are aspiring for success in our professional life, and for that matter, in every aspect of our life. But tell me in the chat, and this is going to be a very interactive. I will be very chatty with you, and I want you to be very chatty with me. So tell me in a moment, tell me what, in your opinion, is most important to achieve success in the professional life, in our career. Is it education? Is it knowledge? Is it experience? Is it technical skills? So keep typing away in the chat. Communication, knowledge, everything, knowledge and experience. Money comes from a profession, maybe. So technical skill, education, communication skills, all aspects, all is good. Knowledge and experience. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Expressions with money to be well acknowledged. Knowledge, yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Now, all right. I want you to remember each of the answers that you have given me. And remember, the more you involve in this chat, the more you engage with me, the more you will walk away with. Okay. With that, let me come to another area of life. Okay. Let us come to another area of life. We have taken the professional area of life. Let us take the financial aspect of our lives. What is most important to achieve success in the financial area of our life? Is it a well-paying job, a successful business, or good investment skills, good money management skills, or luck, or inheritance? What is required to be successful financially? Good investment skills, asset making skills, the money is enough for my life, good management skills, everything, discipline, good management skills. Wow. Okay, keep them coming. Business management, business. Okay, invest on assets. Luck really helps too, and luck only helps when we are ready. So when we are ready, luck finds its way to us. Financial knowledge, great, wonderful. So we have taken we have taken two areas of our life. Now let us take the third area of our life. Let us take our personal life. By personal life, what I mean is our health, our peace of mind, and our personal pursuits. All of that constitute personal life. And we need to be, of course, successful even in our personal life, happiness and everything. So tell me, what is really required for us to be successful in our personal life? Is it discipline? Is it first love yourself, be a lone wolf, guru, empathy, relationship with people, and more importantly, relationship with ourselves, consistency, good wife? And I'll come to that. Who said good wife? Shubham Gupta. All right, relations to ourselves from Anu. I remember you, Anu. And mentor, relationship with our success. Great, wonderful. All of that is hello. All of that is important for success in our personal life. And let us go into the last aspect of our life, which is our family life. In family, we need to be successful in our family life as well. So what is most important for success in the family life? Is it a good, understanding and loving partner, spouse? Is it loving parents or children? Or what is most important for us to have a um, family success in family life? Be single forever. We have to spend good time with family, love and understanding, mutual respect, to understand with everyone, good understanding spouse, partner. Talking is very important. Wow, we have been quite chatty today. Okay, great. Mom, dad, Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. Now I am turning off the chat. You can still write to me. And you know what? Everything that you mentioned is important. And I want you to remember the answers that you have given to me in each of these four areas of life: the professional life, financial life, personal life, and family life. Just remember the answers that you have given me, because we are going to come back to that in just a minute, right? Now, we said that the title of our webinar is How to Focus and Concentrate to Achieve Ultimate Success, for Ultimate Success. Now, we have listed out the factors for success, but what does success mean to us personally? What does it mean to us? We need to have a clear idea, because my definition of success may be completely different from your definition of success, because everyone is a individual, and we have our own metrics for success in each of the different areas of our life. So let us, sometimes, you know what, our mind comes in the way of our success. So this mind is always doubting, questioning, and some of you may even be having questions about who is this guy Venkat who is talking to me. Well, I will address each and every aspect, but the point I'm trying to make is that our mind really comes in the way of our success. So let us leave this conscious mind behind for a few minutes, and let us enter into the realm of possibilities in each of the four areas of our life. And remember, we all made a deal that you would be fully engaged, and now is the time, because we are going to go on a deeper journey within, so that we can explore what our true self is calling us to do. So follow my instructions for the next 4 minutes or 5 minutes. All right, so I want you to sit straight wherever you are sitting. Sit comfortably with your body straight, but make sure that your body is completely relaxed, especially your shoulders and neck and face is completely relaxed. Done? Okay, I want you to take a deep breath in. Inhale and invite the energies of the universe into your soul. Invite the universal prana, that consciousness, to become one with you. Inhale and make a deep exhalation. Exhale. And as you exhale, let go of these thoughts, let go of your worries, let go of your anxieties, and just try to keep the mind as blank as possible. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now, close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I want you to firmly plant your feet on the ground, so that both the soles of your feet are flat on the ground. And with your eyes closed, I want you to just visualize that there are roots extending all the way from your feet all the way to the center of the earth. There are roots extending from your feet all the way to the center of the earth, so that you are held firmly by Mother Earth, and your body is safe and secure. Now take a deep breath in. Inhale. Feel that energy coming in into your body from the universe. And exhale, letting go. Knowing that your body is safe Now let your spirit rise above your body. Let it leave the body. Let it rise. Now your spirit is above your body, watching your body from above. Now your spirit is free to travel anywhere. Let us travel to a point in the future. Keep traveling. Let your spirit hover up above and let it travel into the future to a point where your life is at the pinnacle of its success in all of the 4 areas: your professional life, your personal life, your financial life, and family life. Go to that point in the future. And now, in each of the 4 areas, very briefly, have a vision. What does it mean to be successful in your professional life? What is the highest point you would like to reach? In your professional life? How about in your financial life? When you are at your peak, what do you visualize your success to be? How much money are you getting from your job? How much money in the bank so you can feel comfortable? And how about in your personal life? Imagine your health, your relationship with your own self, your happiness in many aspects of your personal life. What do you visualize your success to look like? And finally, take your family life at the pinnacle of your success. What does success mean to you in your family life? A loving, harmonious relationship with your partner, with your spouse, with your parents, with your children, with your relatives. How would it look like? And know this, that all these 4 areas are so intertwined and interrelated. Your professional life, the financial life, personal and family life. Have that vision of success in each of these areas of your life. And implant them in your heart. And now let your spirit do some time traveling back in time, all the way to the present moment. Your spirit is now above your body, hovering above your body. And when I count to 3, let your spirit come back into the body quickly and effortlessly. 1, 2, 3. You are back in your body now. Still keeping your eyes closed. Bring your awareness to my voice. Bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale, taking in the energy from the universe. And exhale, being in peace. And gently, whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Wonderful. Okay, I hope all of you are back and in full awareness. How was your journey? Share with me in the chat. I would like to hear from you. How was your journey? Have you taken the journey in one word or, one or two words, short sentence? How was it? Magical, wonderful, good, excellent, pure silence, Zen mode. I love the answers. All right, awesome, wonderful, wonderful, glorious. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your experience, stillness of mind and peaceful and relaxing. Wonderful. Okay, now, as wonderful as that journey was, now let us come to reality. Reality of our mind, because it is the mind that creates our reality. It is the mind which experiences the world from its own perspective. So let us come into what the mind is telling you right now. I'm sure each one of you must have defined success in your own ways. You do not need to share your definition of success in the chat or with anyone. It is your own vision. It is what makes you happy. It is your calling in life. But let me ask you, at this moment, as you came back, is your mind a doubting Thomas? Is it saying, no way, that is just stuff of dreams. I cannot be happy. I cannot be successful. What kind of a dialogue is going on in your mind? If it is doubting you, say, yes, it is doubting. If it is not doubting, say no. And okay, many people are saying the mind is not doubting, but some are saying it is doubting, some are saying it is not doubting. We have a mix. I love that. And half and half. Wonderful. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Okay, great. Okay, I am enjoying as much as you are. And you know what? Let me ask you a couple of more questions. And some of you, yes, some of you are saying, yes, it is doubting. Some of you are saying, okay, at this moment, I'm feeling confident. Some of you are saying future is uncertain. And I totally understand that. I totally understand that. So let me ask you another question. Like I said, today, I'm in the mood to really have many chats with you. So tell me, in your heart of hearts, you must have defined your own way, your own vision, or your own definition of success in your professional life, in your financial life, in your personal life, in your family life. Tell me, do you really want to get to that point of ultimate success in each of these four areas of your life? Yes or no? Do you really, in your heart of hearts? Because sometimes, even though externally we may say yes, internally we may not agree. The body, the mind may not agree. I want you to be saying, okay, yeah, I see a no. I see a no, but most of you are saying yes. Yes, yes, you want to be successful. You want to be successful. Okay, so there are two voices within us. One is, what we articulate out, and one what subconsciously within the layers of our mind, within the depths of the layers of our mind, what is the belief system over there. That is also something that we need to understand, because as long as there is any kind of disagreement between what I am saying now, if even if I'm saying yes, but in at the core of me, if somehow something hasn't shifted or is not in agreement with that, we will not reach there, and we will look into we are going to unravel into the depths of our minds. So all right, now, remember when we looked at the four aspects of our life, I asked each of you what is the most important factor to achieve ultimate success in our professional life, in our financial life, in our family life, and in our personal life. And each one of you wrote so many answers. And you know what? All of those are important, absolutely. And a combination of all of those is important. No denying about that. Everything that you have mentioned is which is important for us to achieve ultimate success. Think of it as the vehicle, the the vehicle or the ship that takes us to our destination, where our destination is ultimate success, right? So think of it as the vehicle which takes you to that. Now we have talked about the vehicle, but shouldn't we also talk about the road on which the vehicle travels? Shouldn't we also talk about the medium in which that vehicle travels? And now you might say, what do you mean, Venkat? What do if I say that for me to advance in my profession, what is required is the technical skills and knowledge and the contacts, is that not sufficient? What do you mean by imagining it to be the vehicle? Well, let's let's just get into this. Let us just suppose that everything that we have mentioned is important for us to achieve that ultimate success. If it is a ship that is sailing on the water, and it is this ship that is going to take us to that ultimate success, and everything that we have mentioned is important for us to attain success. If we equate that to the ship, then we also need to give importance to the water in which the ship travels, right? Because everything that we mentioned has an underlying base, and we have to talk about that base. For example, if the ship is in absolute stormy waters, raging waters, choppy waters, huge waves and huge winds and thunderstorms and everything, if those are the prevailing conditions, will your ship take you safely? Will the ship take you to the destination, and will you be safe? Say yes or no. So no, yeah, Jitnath, I agree with you. No, because if the water is completely against, if it is not cooperating, absolutely very, very difficult. It almost takes a miracle, right? For this ship. We have seen the Titanic sink, we have seen so many things happening, and depends on the sailor, yes. Well, sometimes even when the sailor is most skilled, it is simply not possible. Sometimes it may be possible. So I understand each of your answers, and thank you for your participation. Now, if the condition of the water is still, if it is still, isn't it so much easier for us to reach our destination, for this ship to reach the destination much faster, right? So what am I talking about? Why am I comparing our skills, our knowledge, or our, whatever are the factors that we have defined to be important for reaching that ultimate success in these four areas of our life. Why am I comparing it with a vehicle? And what do I mean by the road on which the vehicle travels? Everything, all of those need this underlying base of a stable mind. The mind is the base. See, even if we have money, we cannot be happy. Even if we have technical skills, we may not be very successful. Even when we possess all of those qualities, if the state of our mind is unstable and choppy, like those choppy waters, it can sink even the biggest ship. See, when the water is calm, even when you drop a small pebble, the waves they spread around. But when the waters are choppy, even dropping the biggest skyscraper into the water, it hardly makes a difference, right? Stable mind is the most important thing that we can have for us to achieve ultimate success. I'm absolutely not denying that the other things are not important. They are important. But for all of them to be effective, stable mind, a unfluctuating mind, a mind which is calm, which can deal with any kind of situations with equal ease. That is what is most important, a mind that can focus and concentrate. Finally, after almost 30 minutes, we are coming into focus and concentration, because that is so important for us to achieve success in any area of life. And oftentimes we do not pay enough attention to these two words, focus and concentration, even though these are common terms. But intuitively we know the underlying importance of that. But without a stable mind, a calm mind is what gives us focus and concentration. And if we are able to really focus and concentrate, anything that we have in our mind, any vision, whether it is a reaching that ultimate place of success in whatever area of life, anything that we can perceive in the mind will become a reality. When the water is smooth, the other skills take you there much faster. But if the water is choppy, we probably are going to just deal with you know all of the challenges. Of course we have to deal with the challenges, but we are constantly caught up in this immediate web instead of really flying. And what really comes in the way of having that stable mind, what really comes in the way of having that unflickering focus and unflinching concentration, what is it that comes in the way? Let us look at that, because today we are going to have a level of understanding about our own self at many different levels. So, but before we do that, we really need to understand what we mean by focus and what we mean by concentration, right? We need to come to a common platform. So, focus is when we narrow down our attention to something. For example, we in what you see here is we are holding a convex lens and narrowing down a few rays of the sun into a single beam, which is more powerful and more intense than the individual rays of the sun. So that is focus. And what is concentration? If we are able to sustain that focus uninterrupted for the whole length of the time until the underlying task, whatever we have aimed at, until it is complete, if we are able to maintain that focus uninterrupted, then that is concentration. So in this particular example, the moment you hold the convex lens, you have focused the rays of the sun. But if you remove it, then the sun rays are no longer focused, right? You have to hold it for a sustained period of time in order to achieve your objective of generating heat or creating a fire. And that is concentration. So focus and concentration, very related and yet different terms. So let us understand what is it that really comes in the way for us to have a unflickering focus and concentration. And it boils down to several factors. Remember, we said that our mind, we need a stable mind. And what are all the factors that lead to an unstable mind? It is our emotions, especially the negative emotions. Even the positive emotions also, they create a instability in the mind. But let us just focus on these aspects like fear and guilt, or sadness, or anger, or depression, or shame. It is like we are carrying a huge baggage within us. We are chained by all of these emotions. So emotions come in the way of a stable mind. Emotions come in the way of gaining that focus and concentration. Not only emotions, there are so many patterns within the body, there are so many ingrained patterns within the mind, whether it is a pattern of thought or behavior. Patterns like self-sabotaging behaviors, addictions, and all of these deeply rooted patterns are coming in the way of a stable mind. What also comes is ill health. If we are experiencing imbalances in the physical body or in the mind, whether if we are experiencing stress or anxiety constantly, and if we are constantly having a feeling of being disconnected, not really knowing our true purpose and our true mission, all of these factors are coming in the way of our having a calm mind. And also, it is this constant flurry of thoughts. Many of you may have noticed that there is a constant dialogue that is going on in our mind, and there is a flurry of thoughts, and all of that creates what? Interruptions. Because you know what? Mind is like water. Whichever vessel that you pour water into, the water assumes that shape. For example, right now I have poured the water into this cup, so the water has assumed the shape of the cup. But if I pour it into a container with a different shape, it assumes that different shape. In other words, what it is saying is that the mind is so malleable, it assumes the shape of the thought that you're thinking. And each thought that comes, it actually creates that disturbance in the mind. So we have to be extremely careful. So we know all of the things that are coming in the way of focusing and concentrating and all of this. But how do, the question that you may ask now is, how does one go about gaining that focus and concentration? I mean, can we not have emotions? Of course we can have emotions. Can we not have thoughts? Of course we can have thoughts. But despite all of that, how can we gain that most essential skills of the focus and the concentration that are required in order to take us where we want to go, in order to achieve that ultimate success? Well, that is the question. That is exactly what we are going to look into right now. And I am pretty sure that as you were growing up, maybe your parents told you, hey, focus and concentrate on your studies so that you can come up in life. Or maybe you are telling your children, now focus and concentrate so that you can come up in studies. And we all know that we spend quite a bit of time in formal training ourselves to become ready for example, for our profession, we may spend 4 years or 2 years or for 5 years, whatever, in getting that formal education and learning and gaining that apprenticeship, gaining that experience so that we can excel our work. We are really learning and practicing the trade. But the question is, are we learning and practicing in a formal way how to focus and how to concentrate? And the answer is most of us are not. And that is what is a missing link. And we will go into how we can learn, how we can practice concentration, because remember that one skill of focus and concentration alone can really pave the way for ultimate success in our life. So we need to really understand about all of that. So, yes. Okay. So let me address some of the questions that you may have, but at this point of time, let me engage with you. Is everyone with me so far? Because we are now going to go into one more level of depth, and we are going to go into how to gain that focus and concentration. And it is funny, some of you are asking how long is this session is going to be. Some of you are saying, I have lost the focus on this. I totally understand, but let me just engage with you. Are you all still with me? And all right. Okay, good. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. And as you're typing that, let me share a little bit about myself. The cup from which I'm drinking my water, you can see a one here. This was a cup that I got back in 1990 after I completed my first year of work at this company called International Imaging Systems. It was in California. And I worked as a software engineer for almost 15 years um, in Silicon Valley. And one of my job positions was at Sun Microsystems back in 96, when I was member of the team that created and developed the Java programming language, which is so widely used on the internet. So I go a long way back, but my path has been a little bit different from the typical path, because I chose to walk on a path of being a full-time student of spirituality. So for the last 15 or 16 years, I came back from the US and left my career, and I have been really delving into the depths of the mind. And because I have been in both the corporate world and in the spiritual world, I know the principles that were enunciated, that were being used for thousands of years, how we can apply the crux of that into the modern everyday world in order to meet the challenges. And that is where my passion comes from, because I have seen both sides of it, and I have really experienced some of the bad states. Remember, I was saying that what really comes in between for having a stable mind is our negative emotions, especially. And I have experienced that stress and that anxiety and that depression and that guilt and everything. And in the answers, I have seen some of you saying that I am feeling sad or I'm feeling guilty, and I have experienced all of those negative states, and that really pulled me down. And I know that with the application of some of these deeper tools that are so easy to really incorporate and integrate into our everyday life, that it makes a whole lot of difference. We will get into that in just a moment, but let us actually now delve into one more layer. We are like peeling the layers of the onion, one layer after another, until we arrive at the crux. So now let us just look into what the states of mind is, because if we have to conquer this instrument called mind, and really this is an instrument, a very, very powerful instrument. You may have intuitively know, or you have been told that mind is the most powerful thing, and yes, indeed it is. It can, unfortunately, it makes no distinction between the right direction or the wrong direction. It can either be our best friend and take us to that ultimate level of success, or it can drag us down completely, and we are, constantly dealing with many kinds of issues in the body, in the mind, problems around us and within us mostly. So when we recognize that the mind is important, and when we recognize that it is our mind that is the lens to experiencing the world, when we recognize that the mind alone changes our perspective, our experience of things, because all of us are equipped with the same mind, isn't it? But do we all react in exactly the same way to the exact same set of situations and conditions? For example, when something bad happens to us, one person may really deal with it in a very strong way, whereas another person may get devastated. Both of them have exactly the same kind of experience, but their reaction is different. Why? It all comes because of the emotional stability, right? Now we need to really master this mind, because the mind, we are not our mind. We are able to observe ourselves. We are able to say, I am feeling sad, I am feeling happy. We are able to observe our mind, which means that we are not our mind. Mind is just that instrument that we can use to our advantage, or if we do not know how to, it will take us where it wants to. So the choice is ours. So the question I have for you is, maybe in your life you have purchased something that you were very excited about. I know I was when I purchased my very first car and my laptop. They came with a instruction manual, and especially because I was very excited, I would first turn the pages of the instruction manual, and so that I can use this instrument effectively, this gadget effectively. And I'm guessing that might be your experience too. And if we become so excited about this gadget, how about this mind, which is millions of orders of magnitude more powerful than anything that we can conceive, anything that we can think of? Did it come with an operating manual? And have we taken the time to read it, right? So these are all the questions that we really need to ask if we want to gain that ultimate success. And remember the question that I asked you: do you really want that ultimate success, that ultimate happiness, freedom from all of the issues that we are facing? If we really want to extricate ourselves out of that and take bigger leaps to where we want to go, we really need to master the mind. And for that, we need to understand the mind. Fortunately, there is a manual for the mind. It comes from our ancient spiritual sciences, the ancient yogic sciences, where uh, our ancient rishis and sages, they have gone into the depths of the mind, and just as precise as any other sciences, like whether it is quantum physics or chemistry or medical sciences, they have laid down the principles of this body, this mind, and how we can really, by understanding it better, how we can really master that mind. So they have really told us, they have studied the mind, and they said that the mind is in one of five states. There are five states of mind, and at any given point of time, our mind is either in level one or level five. But what are these five levels of mind or five states of mind, you might be asking? So let us look into that right now. When we understand these states of mind, we can know how we are able to uh, go back and forth between the states of mind. So the first state of mind is the muda state of mind. Muda is a dull tamasic state where the mind doesn't want to move, the body doesn't cooperate. It wants us to be a state of inertia, a state of laziness, and obviously that is a standstill state. It will not get us anywhere. In fact, it will help us slide back in life and go on a downward spiral. And many of us in our own mind, probably we are going into those negative cycles. And so this is the first state of mind, the muda state of mind. The second is the kshipta state, where the mind is extremely restless and it is distracted. The mind is out of control, the thoughts are out of control, the emotions are out of control, and we are simply in a very unhappy place of life, really, because we no longer have control over what we are thinking. We no longer have control over our emotions, and we just go in a reflexive and impulsive fashion. We are going with how the mind is reacting to many things. And so we are, in that sense, we think we are free, but you know what? Not really, because we are imprisoned by the mind. So that is the second state of mind, kshipta state. The third state of mind is the vikshipta state of mind, where we are preoccupied with something, and irrespective of whatever we are doing, our mind is constantly dwelling on that one thing. So here the mind is much more concentrated and much more focused than the kshipta state, or definitely the muda state of mind. And this is the state of mind where creative people, scientists, or artists, or poets, they are often in the vikshipta state of mind. And so this is definitely a much more refined state of mind. And you might be noticing that as we are moving up the levels, 1 2 3, we are going into more and more higher states of mind, more and more refined states of mind. The fourth state of mind is the ekagra, where the mind completely refuses to budge from the whatever it wants to achieve. This ekagra is a fairly common term that is used in our Indian languages. The ekagrata, you might have heard about the story of Arjuna, who had that power of concentration, and that's why he was much ahead of the others, right? And this is what is being called the state of flow. Many of you may have heard about the state of flow, and especially when people and philosophers from the West are talking about it, where they say that the state of flow is where the mind is flowing so smoothly, where things happen so effortlessly, where it is like you achieve a lot more in a lot less time, with a lot less effort, with lesser friction. That is the state of ekagra. And the fifth state is the state of niruddha, where the mind is completely mastered and restrained, a very, very high state of mind that yogis usually go into these states of mind. But you know what? For success in our life, we need to really be in this, at least in the state 4 of ekagra in our mind. If we are in a state of ekagra, we can really achieve whatever we want to, because it is that ability to single pointedly focus and concentrate. When we have that stable mind, when we are not really worried about any kind of uh, weights that are pulling us down, that is when we can achieve that true ultimate success. And in a minute I'm going to talk about how to get there. But imagine what would happen. I talked about many kinds of negative emotions. I talked about fear and guilt, or anger, or depression, or sadness, or all of these emotions. They, and even to an extent all the positive emotions also, they are like the weights that are tied to us, that are not allowing us to move forward, and we keep entertaining the same patterns of thought, we keep entertaining the same patterns of behavior, we keep entertaining the same emotions. And there is so much of healing that is required. All of us are wounded at so many different levels, in the body, in the heart, in the mind, in the soul. And that healing, soothing touch is required, and only we can give to ourselves. Just imagine, recently Neeraj Chopra was in the news because he won a gold medal. Now, just imagine if you tied even a 1 pound weight to his leg and asked him to throw the javelin and achieve that gold medal. Would he able to do that? Of course, you would say no. You know, how can you tie a weight, even if it is a small weight? They cannot really achieve. But how about all of us? We are also champions in our own individual way. We are equipped with the same powerful mind as Arjuna was. No difference. We are all born into greatness. We are all born into potential. But what is preventing us? It is because we are tied down. We are tied down by our emotions. We are tied down by so many things that really do not serve us. And yet the mind deludes us into thinking, hey, this is what is right. But we need to really go into the core and achieve that stable state of mind. When we are able to achieve that stable state of mind, that equanimous state of mind, that is when we can have that full focus and that full concentration. That is when we can learn and practice focus and concentration. So logically, now the question that you may be asking is, okay, Venkat, so far we have spent quite a bit of time talking about this, but let us now come to the core. How do we achieve that stable mind? How do we heal ourselves from the inside out? How can we get that focus and concentration that can really help us get anywhere to achieve that ultimate success that we all want, that we all deserve, that we are all born into, that greatness? How? So, there are some easy uh, methods, and there are some not easy methods, because the reason I'm smiling is I just looked at the chat and there was a very interesting question about what is the state of mind that I have. I will talk about that when we come into the Q&A. But let us actually look into what it takes for us to gain that stable state of mind and to have that focus and concentration. So here are some simple ways in which we can get there. The first is have a regulated lifestyle. We often underestimate how important it is that having a regulated lifestyle is. When we have a regulated lifestyle, which means that we are able to have more or less a fixed pattern of going to bed, waking up, eating habits, spending time with family, spending time with our own selves, diet, exercise, whatever. When we have that regulated lifestyle, it really stabilizes us quite a bit. Otherwise, it creates a lot of instability in the mind, and instability in the mind is creating disturbances in the mind, and we cannot really focus or we cannot really concentrate. So it is fairly simple, right? We can this is something that we can really start doing it from day one, from today, from now, if you do not already have one. And for us to learn and to practice focus and concentration, we need to really inculcate that discipline of doing only one thing at a time, of removing distractions. because the mind is constantly deluding us into doing quote unquote multitasking. It tells us, hey, I can be more efficient when I do all the multitasking. I can do many things at the same time. But you know what? it our mind is like a single CPU computer. It can only do one thing at a time, and the moment we try to do multiple things at the same time, whenever we are interrupt driven, even if that interruption is just for a momentary thing, there is a context switching happening in the mind, and that consumes quite a bit of energy. And this is something that we can practice more or less, right? We can turn off our gadgets for a fixed period of time and only focus on one task. Let the mind not run away to different things. It requires practice. Of course, it requires practice. Now, what is most important? Let us talk about what is most important for gaining that stable state of mind and for having that focus and concentration. The most important thing is really creating a change from the inside out. Where and I'll talk about what I mean by creating change from the inside out. When you are able to create that change from the inside out, you are changing. And if you are able to change the cellular structure, or the neural pathways in the brain, that is when real change happens. Because our patterns of thought, our patterns of emotions, our patterns of behavior, everything is wired, it is programmed. It is like we are almost helpless, because that is exactly what we are programmed. For example, if we purchase a specific app, it will do only what it has been programmed to do. And we are like that. Situations have programmed us, and there is so much of toxicity within the mind, within the body, and we need to really detox ourselves and cleanse ourselves from the inside out. And that is only possible through the practice of holistic practices. And by holistic practices, I mean whether it is yoga asanas, or whether it is conscious breathing or pranayama or meditation or mindfulness, all of these have such a deep impact within us, because it is like taking a huge vacuum cleaner and cleaning ourselves from the inside out. And we are often of the idea that, oh my God, all of this takes time, and who has time? But you know what? Do we effort to not have time? And they are also simple to practice. We sometimes tend to complicate things more than we should. But meditation, the image that we have of meditation is just sitting down and doing the meditation. And yes, of course, that is one way of doing it. But meditation can also be in every activity that you do, and you can practice that focus and that concentration in every activity that you do. So here, these are some of the things that you can do in order to really have that stable mind, have that focus and concentration, not to speak of how much all of these holistic practices help us heal from the inside out in the physical body of all of the many of the conditions, many of the illnesses that we experience in the body, in the mind, and have a much more peaceful place. So I wish I could be sharing a lot more on how you could going into the actual practices of how you can go into developing that focus and that concentration that we so need in order to achieve that ultimate success in our life. But within a 1 hour webinar, we cannot do it. And therefore, I'm really, really happy to be offering a 7-day interactive program with me, where I take you on a journey to gain those essential skills. What are the skills? Focus, concentration, and to have a healthy body, a healthy mind, and a peaceful soul. So it is a 7-day journey. Right now, I cannot see you. You can see me, but during the 7 days, we will be meeting every single day for 75 minutes, and I will be able to see you, and we will go through many inner transformational practices, many holistic practices that take that change us from the inside out and take the quality of our life to the next level. So let me share about that program with you. And since I'm especially excited to share because many of you have said, yes, we want that ultimate success, and that ultimate success, external success. I want you to make note of this, irrespective of whether you choose to join my program or not. External success is a reflection of internal success. When we change from the inside, when we come to that stable state of mind, when we are having a peaceful soul, and when we are at peace within ourselves and have health and vigor and energy in the body, in the mind, and in the soul, that's when external successes will naturally follow, because the external world is a reflection of the inner world, and my focus is going to be entirely on the inner world. And I am inviting you to uh, be on this journey of the world with me, so that you can have, so that it can manifest itself as external successes for you. So this 7-day program is called the Yogic Breath for Healthy Body, Mind, and Soul. And in a nutshell, it is a combination of conscious breathing, it is a combination of meditation, it is a combination of purposeful relaxation, and the practice of mindfulness. All these internal tools that really help us clean from the inside out. It is like we are freeing ourselves from whatever things that are holding us back. We can really heal ourselves. Don't we deserve to be free in the mind? Don't we deserve to be happy? Don't we deserve to be free of stress and anxiety? Don't we deserve that ultimate success? And this is the starting point. So it is a 7-day program, and let me share about this program. Before I share about my program, let me just, I'm happy to share this testimonial from Dr. Atul Shah, who recently took this 7-day program. He is a practicing cardiologist for the last 41 years, and he said in his own words, I realized that conscious breathing is the most important skill for our emotional stability. Remember, without emotional stability, we cannot have that focus and concentration. And he's speaking from the perspective of lifestyle diseases. Without emotional stability, not possible to avoid lifestyle diseases. And I'm so thankful that these words are coming from an authority such as Dr. Atul Shah. So let us look into the program. What is included in the program? It is a 7-day program. It is a live meeting of 75 minutes every single day, 6:45 to 8 o'clock in the morning. And I have a batch starting on 15th of November and another starting on the 29th of November. I do the batches every alternate week. The batch starts on a Monday, ends on a Sunday. 75 minutes of uh, transformational practices. There is a preparatory onboarding live session 2 days prior at 8 p.m. And the intent of that, again, we meet live as a group, and the intent is to prepare you in the body and in the mind, so that you can derive the maximum benefit out of the 7-day program. And that is going to be a live session as well. And as part of this, when you join, you will be part of a WhatsApp group that is specific to the batch, and you can interact with me, ask any questions, and the community support. And you can also turn in your assignments using this. Yes, I actually take people through, not only through the 75 minutes, but from time to time I give some assignments. Takes only 5 minutes or 7 minutes during the day, but when we follow up, it actually reinforces everything that we are learning. So this in a nutshell is the program. And now the question that you might be having is, okay, Venkat, how can I join the program and what do I need to do? See, for you to really gain the benefits, to gain that ultimate success, like I said, the change needs to happen from the inside out. We need to really transform ourselves at a much deeper level, because when the change happens on the inside, external successes will naturally follow. We need to invest in that. Two types of investment. The first investment obviously is of time. Make sure that you are able to invest 75 minutes every single day for at least 7 days, and after that it will be a much easier, much smaller time commitment when you practice on your own. But at least for the 75 minutes for 7 days, that is an investment that is required. And then there is a money investment. What is the money investment? The money investment is 5,000 rupees, and I sincerely from my heart, I believe that the money is going to be well worth it, because it is going to give us returns worth many times over. However, I am really happy to be offering a discounted investment for people attending this webinar, and I am offering this 7-day program at 750 rupees only. And the reason I call it as a investment and not as an expense is because you are really investing this amount on yourself, so that you create those energy changes within. Everything is a energy. You are investing that money energy, and that is going to help you shift at many different levels, and you're going to get returns many times over. And I, having had the experience in both the corporate worlds and the spiritual worlds, I know the what are the distilled set of practices that really help us clear the cobwebs in the mind, that immediately help us have a much healthier body, and help us in dealing with stress and anxiety, and create that stable underlying mind. My entire focus is on that. I know that you have the ability to learn all of the things that we associated with that ship, with that vehicle. Of course you will gather all of those skills, but I am interested in creating that underlying stable base for you, so that you can have that unflickering focus and concentration, and really get clarity within us. So let me share the links for these two batches, and I will be happy to answer each and any question that you may have about this program. Let me first share the links. So the first link I'm going to share with you is the InstaMojo link for the November 15th to 21st batch. And let me share the link for the November 29th to December 5th batch. Okay, here are the links for the okay, so these are the two links. 15th to 21st and November 29th to December 1st. And when you join through InstaMojo, you will get an auto reply with all the necessary information. For the batch that is starting on the 15th, I am holding the live orientation session on Friday, which is what, 12th? Yes, 12th, which is day after tomorrow at 8 p.m. So here are these two links, and let me answer each and every question that has come into the chat. I must also let you know that I am going to keep this webinar open only until the next 20 minutes. We need to respect time, and the offer will be open until that time. So let me just start the timer. And Okay, so we are going to be on for the next 20 minutes, and any questions that you may have, feel free to type in the chat, and I'll make sure that all of your questions are answered. So, all right. Very good. So Sharad Krishna is asking, does it help in any way for healing chronic pains? Sharad, I am so happy that you have asked this question, because I do a related webinar on harnessing your breath to master your life, in which I go into much more detail about the impact breath has on our physical body. And here is the thing. Conscious breathing is being used by hospitals in order to treat their patients, heal from a number of conditions, and that especially includes chronic body pains, low energy levels, fatigue, blood pressure, or diabetes, or heart related conditions. I mean, conscious breathing has such an impact on our cardiovascular system and on the lymphatic system. It really helps infuse each and every cell with prana, with that vital life energy, and that is why it is called pranayama. And not to mention how it is really clearing us, helping us at a emotional level of clearing the anxiety and stress. So absolutely, it is going to be a big help in that. So I hope that answers your question, Sharad, and I am glad that you have asked. Okay, let me. Okay, let me just go. Rabia Begum is asking, my daughter is 14 years old. Can she attend the class? Rabia Begum ji, of course, she is 14 years, and especially the practices that I'm going to give take people through a incremental journey, and I'm going to talk about what we are going to cover, but this is going to be very helpful for students especially. And you can just join, and you and your daughter, you do not need to make two separate payments. You enroll, you and your daughter are so welcome to attend and practice along together, and it also helps create that family time together. But the short answer to your question is because it is helping. She will become a much better student, really, in her growing up age, and that will help. So I hope that answers your question. Let me go to other things. Okay, Mrinal is asking, is it really possible to maintain regular lifestyle during our working life? How is it possible for you, sir? Of course, Mrinal, you know, let me answer your question in two ways. By the way, if you are there, type yes in the chat, so I know that I am answering your question, Mrinal. Type yes in the chat. All right. Let me answer your question. Your question is it really possible to maintain regular lifestyle during our working life? Of course. See, many people are under the impression that, hey, if I take up meditation, can I really continue in my regular working life? I hope I have understood your question correctly, but it is absolutely possible to maintain that balance, have that perfect normal successful life, and yet use the spiritual principles. Using the underlying spiritual principles doesn't really mean that you have to change. Of course, there will be some kind of lifestyle changes as you go through that, lifestyle changes in the sense of having a more regulated lifestyle, but nothing preventing you from really enjoying life to the fullest extent, of experiencing life in all of its vibrancy, and achieving that success, external success, because first you're going to achieve that internal success. So these are not mutually exclusive. Material life and spiritual life are two sides of the same coin, and So there is absolutely no disconnect between that, and really applying these spiritual sciences doesn't require you to change any of your belief systems, because you're simply applying the laws, principles, the laws that apply, universal principles, just like the law of gravity holds good under any kind of conditions. These spiritual principles work, and they help us heal from the inside out. So I hope that answers your question. um, by the way, by the way, those who have enrolled, type a I in the chat, and I will, so I know how um, to expect you. And Beena Mistry is asking, does law of attraction really work, and how to visualize effectively? So, Beena, I'm glad you asked this question about the law of attraction. And you know what? I will take a few minutes in talking about this, because law of attraction, yes, it is real. Yes, it is real, but it is also hyped up and overhyped up and overhyped up. It is, sometimes I see videos on YouTube, I see things saying that, hey, overnight you can attract this, overnight do this. See, law of attraction is not a quick solution manner method. It, what does the law of attraction say? Law of attraction only says that you attract from the universe what you are on the inside. If we are vibrating at a higher frequency, that is what we attract. If we are vibrating at a lower frequency, that is what we attract into our life. So it is exactly, the outer world is a mirror, a thousandfold magnifying mirror of what we hold in the inside. So from that perspective, law of attraction works. But for it to work, what do we need to do? We really need to change how we are vibrating. We need to change that innermost core. It is possible for us to raise our energy levels temporarily by attending a very motivating talk, or hearing a music and dancing to the tune. Yeah, but after that, the energy levels keep dropping back, and we really need to come into practices where we are able to maintain those vibrations, where we are able to maintain that frequency for sustained periods of time. We need that inside out change. And of course, the law of attraction will work. It is a law, and it is bound to work. But how you implement it, how you go about that, whether we are looking for quick gains or whether we are really looking for that real change. And sometimes it, not sometimes, it actually requires us, for us to invest that time, invest whatever it takes in order to create that changes. Sometimes, the depending upon the level of evolution of our soul and body, maybe the changes are quick, sometimes it just takes time. So we have to be very careful and not have any kind of false expectations regarding the law of attraction. So I hope I have answered uh, your question. Uh, all right. Those who are thinking about enrolling, if you have any questions regarding the program, please send them in the chat. I will be happy to answer each and every question. And by the way, those of you who have enrolled, just type a I in the chat so I know to expect you. All right. So, uh, Aher said, sir, the activity which you took at the beginning of the session was literally amazing and miraculous. It reduces the negativity. Thank you very much. And Aher, if you are around, just type a yes, so I know. I'll explain why I took you on that particular journey. Yes, Vaibhav. Okay, great. For some reason, it shows VAHER. All right. So that was a effective journey, because our mind is creating that friction constantly. Our mind is always in pulling us down or creating that obstacles, and if only we learn how to access other levels of consciousness, an expanded sense of consciousness. Like I said, remember I said that our mind is the lens through which we are experiencing the world, and we can expand it by delving into other realms. And when we do that, we are really tapping into vast reservoirs of energy. And there are many ways in which we can go into that. And the starting point is by doing these practices of conscious breathing, the practices of meditation. I take people through a very methodical way of practicing, so that you have the right fundamentals, so that you do not take up practices without having the proper foundations. I take you through a proper meditation, incremental meditation practice, where at the end of 7 days you are going to have a very effective meditation practice. And you are also going to go into a journey of practicing of mindfulness. All of this, what does it do? It helps us have a healthy body, a healthy mind, and being at peace within ourselves. It is working on that underlying layer, that stable mind. And when we have that, we can really reach anywhere. Not to speak of the health benefits, the physical health benefits, and the clearing of the stress or the anxiety or the depression. I myself have gone through many of those states of mind, and I know exactly how much all of these practices are going to help you. So I hope that answers your question, Vaibhav. Okay, let me send the link. Here is the link. Here is the link for the November 29th to December 5th batch, and November 29th to December 5th. And then let me share the link of the November 15th to 21st batch. November 15th to 21st batch. Here is the link for the November 15th to the 21st batch. All right. So let me see if I can answer other questions. Rabia Begum is asking whether it has to be pronounced or sounded as Om or Om. Either way is right. When we start on this, I take people through the Udgita Pranayama. Udgita Pranayama is the uplifting chant, and there is a specific way, irrespective of which one are you using. There are specific ways of chanting, so that we are able to raise the vibrations. And most importantly, I give quite a bit of focus to where the mind is during every breath practice, because when we keep the mind focused specific type of practice, that really is the practice of concentration. And the more we practice concentration, the more we practice all of these holistic practices, we become that one pointed, that focused individual that can stay at peace irrespective of any kind of turbulences. And we can really work on our mind, because you know, I want you to understand how our state of mind has a direct impact on the state of our breath. For example, when we are agitated, or when we are angry, or when we are stressed out, our breath is irregular, and it is unhealthy, and it is shallow. But when the mind is very relaxed, the breath is calm, it is deep, isn't it? But the reverse is also true. When we are able to consciously do the breath in a specific ways, it has a direct impact on the mind. And when we have, it is so difficult to control the mind directly, but through breath we can actually control our thoughts, we can control our emotions, we can control how we feel, how we perceive, and it can shake up a lot of cobwebs inside of us. So I hope that answers your question. All right. All right. Let me see if I can address any other questions. Okay. Okay. Yes, this program is the same as Harness Your Breath to Master Your Life. See, I do both of these webinars. One webinar focusing more specifically on the breath and its impact on the physical body and the mind and the emotions, and this one focusing on focus and concentration. And I will be doing other webinars, one that talks about energy levels, and all of them lead into the same program, because it is this program which has multi faceted results. And therefore I'll be doing, right now I'm doing two webinars, but I'll be doing a series of 6 or 7 webinars, and talking about various aspects. So the short answer to your question is yes. All right, let me also remind you that we are about 6 minutes away from closing it. And those of you who really want to create that inside out change, I welcome you to join me in this 7-day transformational journey. Okay, in the last few minutes that we have, let me try to address whatever questions that we may have. Okay, Maitreyi Annadurai is asking, uh, any advice how not to worry about everything around me and live in the present? Okay, so my answer to you is on two levels, Maitri. One is, we cannot be a ostrich who buries his head in the sand and ignores everything. Of course, we have to deal with whatever is happening around us, and we have to address it, otherwise it creates disturbances. But what is most important is how we react to what is happening, whether our reaction is a impulsive reaction or a proactive reaction, whether we are able to deal with the stress, whether we are able to maintain a equidistance irrespective of whether the results may be positive or negative. For example, should I be elated if I get 25 people sign up for my program, and should I be disappointed if only 1 or 2 people sign up for this program as a result of this webinar? To me, I am I have learned to react in exactly the same way. So the point I'm making to you is that it we have to deal with whatever challenges that are arising from the outside. We cannot hide ourselves from that, but we need to learn how to process that, how to really, because oftentimes our mind presents a version of the reality, whereas the absolute reality might be something totally different. So I'm trying to give you as short an answer. Yes, it is absolutely possible to live in the present moment completely. And even if you are experiencing stress, even if you are experiencing fear, even if you are experiencing any of the negative emotions, the fact, if you can be aware that you are experiencing all of that negative emotions, that is also a living in the present. Because even while you are experiencing fear, a part of you is observing you, and that part of you is fearless, and therefore you can be living in the present irrespective of what you're going through. Yes, absolutely possible. Of course you will experience all of that emotions. Of course, going into this kind of a mode doesn't mean that we become emotionless. Of course we experience everything, but there is also a part of us that is untouched. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. We absolutely, Hariharan, do I speak Tamil? Uh, I really want to learn how to speak Tamil, and hopefully, uh, we get to know each other better. And so that I really want to learn Tamil. That is the short answer. I kind of sort of understand. All right. Raghu Sharma is asking, after taking your 77 days program of 75 minutes, how much time we need to spare to continue and adopt that practice daily? I am so happy that you asked this question, Raghu Sharma. If you're still there in this, just type a yes. And it totally depends upon you. My advice is consistency over intensity. If you are able to spare only 10 minutes per day, do the practice for 10 minutes. Let us not be under the impression, oh my God, I need to do it for at least 45 minutes or at least 60 minutes. It should not be like all or nothing kind of a thing. Consistency over intensity. Just practice. If you're only able to spend only 15 minutes every single day, you can tailor your practices to be optimal for that time. If you can spend only 30 minutes a day, so be it. But in one sense, really, you will be able to practice it all the time. Why? Because I teach you that practice of mindfulness, so that irrespective of any activity that you're doing, you are actually doing that practice all of your waking hours. So hopefully that answers your question. um, Sharad is asking, will it help in neuropathy issues? Neuropathy, you know, body pains can come because of any number of conditions, and people having certain intense neuropathy conditions, they need to really go gradually, go easy with the breath practices. There has to be a very slow and incremental path towards that. But to begin with, deep breathing and some practices are very safe. For some practices, there is caution that should be applied, so that one is able to reach a certain base level state before taking up some practices. But yes, absolutely, it can be of help at many levels. So I hope that answers your question. All right, I need to really close this because of time constraints. So another 1 minute, I'm going to close. So actually, for those of, I've been spending the last 90 minutes with you. I want to thank each and every one of you. For those of you who have joined my program, I welcome you into the program. And for those of you who, for some reason, have decided not to join the program, I hope you do take up these inner transformational practices. If not with me, with somewhere, make sure that you get a good mentor for that, and take the time to do the practice. I wish you all the well, and to every one of you, thank you so much. I have had a good experience interacting with you, knowing you for the last 90 minutes, or almost 95 minutes now. I wish you all a wonderful evening and have a great life. Thank you all so much. Namaste. Okay, Sharad, if you are still there, your question is, how will I know what to do? You have joined. Okay, Sharad, let me, in 1 minute, I will answer. You will receive a email, an auto reply email from Instamojo, and it will have all of the details. And for those of you who may have questions, if for any reason you do not receive the Instamojo, or if you have any questions, you can contact me at this email address, Venkat, Venkat, at venkat-rao.com. Venkat at venkat-rao.com. And Sharath, welcome, and welcome to everyone. So I am now going to end the meeting. All right.